Hi, I'm Maggie Veveas, New Paltz District resident, former school district administrator, and school board member, here to talk about the school board elections on May 15th at the high school from 12 o'clock until 9 o'clock are the voting hours. I'm here with Tanya Marquette, who is an individual interested in running one of 6 candidates for the school board. Could you tell me about yourself, Tanya?
Sure, thanks, Maggie. Hi. I've lived in the New Paltz School District for well over 30 years, raised my children here, have a granddaughter coming up. I've been a community activist all of my adult life, and the field of education has been one of my passions. I've also worked in the building professions there. I'm a general contractor, home inspector. I've worked in environmental areas. So I have a lot of background that has attached me to issues in our school district. I've also worked on many school committees over the years, some of them involving facilities, some of them involving equity education. I've worked in the community on different kinds of things, environmental things, such as the Environmental Conservation Commission in Gardner. I sit on that committee now. So all of these interests, all of these experiences wind up leading me to being interested in working on the school board.
So, and why specifically now? Because I know you've been involved. Why specifically now?
Well, it just seems like
What issues?
the time is now.
What are the issues you think are important?
I think the incomplete comprehensive district plan is a big issue for me. I keep seeing proposals being put out, such as the land referendum that just went down by 78%, as an example of that kind of problem. It struck me as a backwards decision. You know, buy the land and then we'll figure out what to do with it and how it works. We need a plan that gives us the educational program long-term, goals, details about it, and then we figure out what kinds of building projects we may need in order to affect that education plan. And we need to consider the funding and the finances in order to, be able to build those. We must consider the state of the economy for the community. This is something that is not taken seriously enough by the district. That's how I have felt over the last few referendums.
And how would you think would be a good way of going about getting information, informing the community? How would your problem solving for this would be?
Well, one of my goals is to see increased community involvement. I think that we need to create a permanent model, a permanent process for involving community people in our decision making in the district there. We have so many people in the community with great expertise. They would love to volunteer if they felt that their efforts were going to count for something. And so that is why I use the term meaningful, because we've had many experiences of sitting on committees and then finding our results filed in the circular file. Nobody wants to see their energy, treated that way. So I think a meaningful, permanent process has to be written into our comprehensive district plan. I also think that we need task forces formed on specific issues. It's not enough that we have school committees such as the Facilities Subcommittee to the Board of Ed. We need to have permanent task forces that work on long-range plans, and we need to have specific ones on specific issues. This is one of the ways to involve community. I think with that expertise, we can also figure out ways to cut costs.
Okay.
We can learn to use community resources much more effectively. And I also think we have to become much more activist on a state level with other school districts and organizations that are working to fund schools not off the backs of the homeowners, but an income-based, process. This is not a new idea, but I think that it has not been operated on by school districts in a significant way, and I would really like to be able to see us as a district participate on a broader activist level.
Well, as I mentioned, there's a budget vote going on. The vote is for a $50.3 million budget. It raises the tax levy by 4.4%, 1% over the 3.4 tax cap. Can you tell me about your thoughts on that?
I don't think they're pretty. I was very unhappy to see the board, promote that. I was at a board meeting where a lot of people got up and said, spend more money, spend more money. I said, what world are they living in? I'm very happy that they have the money to pay, but we live in a community. There are too many people in this community that cannot afford that. I think that we need to be much more conscious of the total economy of the community and how it's affecting, people. We have long-term residents who cannot afford their houses anymore because of the taxes. This is not a comfortable. It's not comfortable for me as a resident to see this happening to my neighbors.
But what about the quality of education? We have a high achieving district, is what we've been told. So
I think we do have a high achieving district. I think it's a very good thing that we have a high achieving district, except that it's not an evenly high achieving district. Okay. We have many students who are high achievers. They come from families that are high achievers. It's part of the culture of their lives. But we have many students who are disengaged, they're disenfranchised, they're not high achievers, they're underachievers for various reasons. I think our education program has to spend much more time being concerned, about them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell me about the $12.3 million fix-it. We talked about the budget, and you're not happy with the budget. Tell me about the fix-it, the bond issue for $12.3 million that was taken back by the board.
See, and now that was a referendum that I would have been much more likely to support.
Okay.
Our buildings need maintenance. My understanding is this current budget has only $100,000 put in for 5 buildings. That's $20,000 a building on the average. This is nowhere near adequate for maintaining our facilities. I think that we need to be much more conscious of what maintenance needs. Over the last few years, we've lost about 40% of maintenance staff. We've lost money, in budget, and we've lost staff. Mm-hmm. We cannot maintain our facilities without having adequate resources to do that. Maintenance is a very big part of our district. It's sort of the stepchild of our district, though, and we have to kind of work to change that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that one of the things that the district and many districts have talked about is consolidation as a way of saving money. Mm-hmm. Tell me about what you think about consolidating from 2 to 3 schools from 4. I neither support nor oppose consolidation. My position is that if you're going to put a package on the table for discussion, I need it to be a full package. The finances of the total package has to be part of it. Anything that we do has to come out of the complete comprehensive district plan. Education program first defines what we need in terms of building projects. And at the moment, it feels to me like if you talk consolidation, the only thing they want to talk about is how much they're going to save on, say, electric costs. However, they don't talk about how much it's going to cost us for major remodeling of buildings or building on, which will be millions of dollars. Now, that has to be very much part of the conversation about consolidation or anything else that we do. Mm-hmm. So I will talk to anybody about any reasonable idea, but I want to see a full package, not a half a package. Well, we're running short of time, so I'd like you to summarize. What would you bring to the Board of Education? What would people say about you personally, Tanya?
I'll tell you what people tell me to my face. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you the good things. Okay. They see me as knowledgeable and informed. They see me as a very hard worker. They see me as somebody with a lot of stick-to-itiveness. They see me as somebody who's very honest, who speaks her mind, is transparent. What other things do people tell me about myself? They think that I'm very ethical And I think these are qualities I would bring to the board.
Yeah. So tell me about your platform now. Your personal qualities are very important, but describe quickly your platform.
Well, in
That way we
summary,
summarize it.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
In summary, my platform is a completed comprehensive district plan that focuses not only on the long-term educational goals, but a facilities and building program that follows education, that supports education, and our finances have to be worked out in order to be able to deliver these, these programs. I also feel that we must bring the community into decision making in a meaningful way, and I guess that's it.
So I should vote for you, I guess, right?
Well, I sure hope so.
That's May 15th at the high school.
Okay.